Hey guys, it's Andre again, and we're going to be talking about for loops in this video. So if you've watched my last video on while loops, you will have the prerequisite knowledge for this video. If you haven't watched that video already, please go back and watch my video on while loops, and it will help explain a lot more of the background information that you're going to need. So let's go ahead and jump right into a for loop. In JavaScript, a for loop, and in many other programming languages as well, a for loop is a compact way of representing a while loop. So the two kinds of code do the same thing, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do the same thing we just did with our I would not talk in class example, using a for loop. So let's go ahead and get started. To do so, all you need to do to use a for loop in JavaScript is the following. We do for, and we do open parentheses, and now we're going to need to put in three different things. So the first thing we need to put in is our initial condition. And this is where you are to initialize a variable, set a variable, or choose to use a variable at a certain index. Basically, you specify what the starting place is for this loop. So in our case, we had a variable called counter, and we started it at the number 0. So to do so, I'm going to be declaring counter in this initial condition, and I'm going to be setting it equal to 0 as well. And this looks like the following. So for variable counter equals 0. Then I put a semicolon, and that is the end of the initial condition. Next up is the terminating condition. So this is the condition in which the loop will end. Where do we want this loop to end? Well, in the last example, we wanted counter to end whenever counter was while counter was less than 100. So the terminating condition is the condition that we're going to be checking against every time that we run the loop. So in here, we're going to put counter is less than 100. And finally, we're going to put one more condition, and this thing is the post condition, or some code that we wish to run at the end of the block that we're about to apply. So every time we go through an iteration in the for loop, we're going to be running this code at the very end of it all. And as we did last time, we were moving counter up by 1 every time. So this is how we would do the following. We would do counter plus plus, and that is our post condition for the loop. So now we can write the code I will not talk in class here and see the result in our console. So console.log counter plus, let me put a period, I will not talk in class, and let me put a semicolon. So now when I run it, I see that I printed out I will not talk in class from the number 0 to 99. So if we wanted to do it in a more, I would say, human readable form, we would start the indexing off at 1, and then we can do it where counter is less than or equal to 100. So let's go ahead and give that a shot, and it'll look more like somebody were to write it on the board. Because most people, they don't really write numbers or lists starting at 0. Programmers do, but not most people. So let's go ahead and do this one more time. And boom, we have 100 as our ending condition. Whoops, the screen got really big there. And we have 1 as our starting condition. So there we have it, a really quick example of for loops and how they work, and how to also manipulate the starting and ending indices of for loops.